Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide's Lunch and Learn Hour. It's your girl Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses brownstoneworldwide.com, KCCR The Brownstone, the podcasting app, and also Brownstone Living Magazine. Today, on today's Lunch and Learn Hour, we're going to be talking to a beautiful young lady by the name of Takia Denise. You guys don't want to miss this because Miss Takia Denise is going to be giving us some information that you need to know about a couple of things. But before we bring her on, we want to let you know this 23-year-old is a curve model and influencer. So guys, grab your pens, grab your paper, and she's a huge advocate for self-love and body positivity. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring up Miss Takia Denise. Hey girl, how you
Hey,
doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. All things considered.
Right.
Yeah. So listen, first of all, thank you for coming on to the Brownstone and hanging out with us today. I'm honored, first of all, because of course I did my homework. And ma'am, you didn't tell me you had 16,000 followers.
Right. I know. I just hit that recently. I am so excited. I am just grateful to be where I am.
Okay, so 16,000 followers. And y'all, that's just on Instagram alone. We didn't talk about all the other platforms that she's on. And so, one of the things that we talked about previously before coming on to the show was we talked about being an influencer. Let's jump right into it because I think um, one of the things that people misunderstand is what is an influencer. Let me stop there before I begin, before I ask that question and hand it off to you. I see this a lot. I see people that are on Instagram who are, or Facebook, or TikTok, or Bigo, or any of the other platforms that are out there. And they're constantly talking about a product, or maybe not even talking about a product, but they're wearing specific clothes, they're wearing their hair a certain way. And the idea is that they are an influencer. So let's talk about that briefly. What is an influencer?
So, being an influencer is what you make it out to be. I feel as though being an influencer is, you being you getting these products and really reviewing them the way that you would like for to see other reviews on sites.
Okay.
So you're taking the clothes, you're putting them on, and you're showing people how it looks on your body type because there's
Mhm,
many others who have they might have the same body type.
mhm.
So they want to see what the product looks like, how you use it, pretty much what you do with this product on your daily life.
Okay. All right. Now, you woke up one morning and you said, I want to be an influencer. That was not how it.
No, not at all. Not at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
Honestly, when I first started, I didn't even know that's what I was doing.
Hmm.
I actually got on my social media to promote more so my wardrobe and my styling.
Hmm.
So I'm actually a fashion designer and a fashion stylist.
Hmm.
So when I did my wardrobe on Instagram, that's what I was going for. I was really going for more clients and really showing people this is how I do my style, this is how I dress myself.
Hmm.
And also, I got on there to build more confidence
Okay.
because at the time I didn't have as much confidence as I should. So I got on there to really put myself out there and just get out of my comfort zone and to see where it goes.
Okay. Let's talk about that. I heard what you just said, and you said that you support body positivity and self love and all of those things. So you went on social media ultimately in the beginning to boost your own self confidence. Is that what
Right,
I'm hearing? Okay,
right.
so let's stop right there because I think that a lot of people are under the impression that people who post consistently are arrogant.
Right.
And that's not true
Not at all.
at all. At all. And I can say that unequivocally because I have had people inbox me personally and say, I'm unfollowing you because you think you all that. I have literally
That's
had people say
crazy.
that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I have lost so-called friends behind that and whatever. When in reality, what we're doing is you're building your brand and you're building your
Right.
space, right?
Hmm.
And I think people misunderstand that you're quote unquote showing off. And that's
Right.
the case. This was really about you and your self-development, is what I'm hearing you say, right?
Right. Right. Hmm.
Okay. And you're so beautiful. Like I'm trying to, but that doesn't, So I'm sitting here, I'm going, she needed some self-confidence. Girl, you
I
oozing
did.
it. You did.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I did. Because it's a long story.
Mhm. Yeah.
So my whole Instagram really was built upon, like I said, me building my self confidence.
Mhm.
Because as a child, I didn't really have that as much.
Mhm.
And like my parents, they're awesome. They're awesome. They they
Yeah.
always build up my confidence, but I needed
Mhm.
to build it up myself because no matter what anybody else was saying, I still wasn't believing it. I
Mhm.
was around a lot of family members on my mother's side, unfortunately. you know, um, they used to bully me like my own cousins.
Yeah.
So during that point in time, I felt as though I wasn't really confident enough. Like I
Mhm.
was too big, I wasn't as small, so I couldn't fit in the bikini and all
Yeah.
this stuff. So
Right.
I just felt like, you know, I wasn't allowed to be me during
Mm.
with those people.
Yeah.
And so I allowed myself to be me on my social media platform.
I love that. And you know what? Let me tell you something. It shows.
Yep.
It absolutely shows. And I see you in all of these beautiful dresses and the clothing, and I see you holding products in your hands, and I see
Right,
you,
right.
with gifts of makeup, and you're holding it open, and all of that. And I see you with your husband, and you guys
Right,
are posing with your outfits and so forth, and you've grown this following over time. People who are literally watching you going, I need to follow her because she looks like me. She reminds me of myself. Because that's what I do when
right,
I see people that I want to follow. They're doing something similar to what I want to do, who I would like to be, or that I just enjoy seeing on a regular basis.
right.
So, as an influencer, it's what people make it out to be. So here's another question. And before we do that, for those of you all who are watching, this is called Lunch and Learn. We are about to ask Takia some questions that I'm sure she can charge heavily for, right?
Right.
So I need you to grab your pen and your paper because this is an exclusive with Brownstone Worldwide. And we need you all to understand that what she's getting ready to drop are nuggets, and y'all need to be picking them up. First and
Definitely,
foremost,
definitely.
one of the things that I asked you previously was about me getting inboxes personally
Right,
from businesses who wanted me to um, influence or maybe post their product on my personal Instagram and Facebook pages.
right,
However, they didn't want to pay me. They wanted me to use a coupon code, post on my page, and I thought that was an influencer. You gently
right,
corrected me. Can you explain what that is and what an influencer is?
right. Okay, so pretty much getting the discount would be more of an ambassadorship.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that's where the brand is looking for more of a customer consumer base.
Okay.
And so, with that being said, they would automatically go to being a discount so that you're still buying their product and you're still considered a customer underneath
Got it.
that
Okay.
brand.
Uh-huh.
They'll have your information, they'll have like your email, your address and all that stuff, and you're considered a customer
Mm,
base.
mhm,
And
mhm.
so, with that being said, as an influencer, you're not getting you're not going to automatically be in their file unless they put you in there themselves.
Mhm.
So, you're not buying the product from them, they have to give it to you for free.
Mhm.
Or if they don't have a product, then they're probably just going to give you, some type of information about their brand. But either way, you're getting all of that for free.
Okay.
And then you're getting paid. on top of
Ah,
that. So
ah,
with ambassadorship, you're only getting commission, and they can choose to give you commission or not. But as an influencer, you have to get paid directly. You have to make sure you're getting paid. And
got
so that's the main difference between ambassador and influencer. And I have to like always recite that to people because they
mhm,
don't understand when they get
okay,
into it. They
okay,
automatically think, oh, being an influencer is, ambassador. Let me
right.
get my first ambassador
Uh-huh.
campaign. And I'm like, that's two different things.
It's two different things.
Yes,
You are an
definitely.
ambassador with one when they're giving you coupon codes and they're asking you to purchase the product and you're sharing it, as
Right.
opposed to being an influencer where you're being paid for said product, which they're giving to you for free or the information for free.
Right.
And you can choose to go in both lanes or either or. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
That's exactly what you can do.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. So, one of the things that I've noticed recently is there are a lot of Black social media influencers who are having this conversation about not being paid as much as the white counterparts who are doing much, much, much less.
Right.
Can you expand on that? And do you think that you've experienced it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely when I first started influencing, I feel as though I wasn't getting paid enough. I
Mhm,
actually started out getting only free product. So that's how a lot of brands try to get you,
mhm,
especially, Black influencers. They automatically try to stick you with oh, we can give you free product
mhm.
and, if you can post such and such for this product.
Okay.
And at first, certain brands, I accept that only
Mhm,
because I use them a lot.
mhm.
So if I didn't use that brand that much, I'm not accepting it.
Okay.
I have to get paid.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
for brands like Shein, they do that a lot. Shein and Temu, they will only gift you free product unless you have an extremely high following.
Hmm.
So yeah, brands like Shein, you have to have at least, I believe, what was it, maybe 100,000, 300,000 followers and up
I
in
see.
order to actually get paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because I use them so much, I said, you know what, I will accept the free product only because
Mhm,
I use you guys so much. Literally, my whole closet is Shein.
mhm.
So I'm
Really?
like, okay, yeah.
But your clothes are so adorable. So everything I hear about Shein is not true then.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, we
That's
gonna
why I've actually been ordering from Shein before I started working for them. I think when they first came out, I started ordering from them.
okay.
So in the beginning, yeah, their stuff it was terrible.
It definitely
The
was.
quality was not great at all. It was very
It was
cheap.
not giving.
But yeah, yeah. But when I started working with them even more in the recent years, they definitely changed in material.
Mhm,
They changed in prices for
mhm,
sure because a lot of stuff
mhm.
is a lot higher now.
Yep.
Um, but the material is thicker, it's less cheap, it feels really good depending on what item you choose. That's why I pay attention to the items that I choose on there.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So we're talking about, and again, folks, write this down because she ain't gonna share this no more. I'm telling you, at least not through the brownstone. Okay.
Right.
So we're talking about your white counterparts. And in the green room, we talked about one of the things that you notice. So you're in a couple of these influencer groups, and your white counterparts are saying that they're paid 10,000, they're paid XYZ, right? And all
Right.
they had to do was this. And on the other hand, black and brown individuals are being told to do almost backflips for less money. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right, right, definitely. Yeah, so being in that group, I've noticed that many people who have less followers than I do, they
Mhm.
have only 1,000 followers and they're white and they're able to charge five to $10,000 for way less followers.
Mm, mm,
While I'm sitting at 10,000 at the time and
mhm.
I wasn't getting paid that, I was getting free product. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it was just flat out free product and commission. And me not really knowing how to negotiate for myself and really stand up for myself and what I'm doing,
Mhm.
I would accept it. But
Mhm.
then I started to realize, later on down the line, like right now, I'm paying and charging a lot more than
Okay.
what I was before.
Okay. Okay. And when you say that you're charging more, do you have like a rate sheet that you give people? Um, do you say, okay, so this is who I have, here's my rate sheet, boom? Or are you saying rates are negotiable?
So I actually do both,
Okay.
depending on the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also noticed that if you go up on what your rates are
Mm-hmm.
and negotiate, they tend to go above and beyond what you asked for. So let's say that I asked the brand for 5 grand. I
Okay.
would ask the brand 5 grand,
Mm-hmm.
and they would say, that price may be a little too steep. Can we, negotiate on the terms?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say, yeah, we can negotiate, and they would send me their price. But
Mm-hmm.
their price is still a lot higher than what I originally asked for, because my original price that I know is my
Yeah.
price
Yes.
is like two, maybe $3,000.
Right.
But I overpriced it so that
Mhm.
when we do negotiate, it's still above what I asked
Right.
for what my price is.
Gotcha.
So I would
Gotcha.
ask for 3,000, but I would tell them that it's 5,000, and
Mm-hmm.
then they end up meeting me in the middle, which is like 4 grand.
Love it.
So I end up
Love that.
leaving the collaboration with 1,000
Okay.
over what I
Okay.
asked for.
Okay. Awesome.
Hmm.
And so, as an initial new influencer for people that are looking to get into this industry, another thing that I have read and I have heard and I have seen a couple of things. One, people living the lifestyle but not earning the lifestyle, and they're breaking
Right.
the bank to do so. Um, what are your tips that you can give people who would like to make this a full time option for themselves?
So my main thing would be definitely do not break the bank. So
Okay.
make sure you can pay your bills and, and
Hmm.
all that.
Yeah.
I would pay my stuff first before I would just flat out spend all my money. Because
Right. Right.
you don't want to break the bank and then you're out on the streets. No, that's not how it
Hmm.
works.
Hmm.
So I will obviously put my priorities first. My bills, anything like that, I would put first before I would either spend or anything like that.
Hmm.
So, also, I would negotiate your terms. I would ask for, like, if you're just now starting out,
Hmm.
you can always ask for the free product,
Hmm.
but make sure you're also getting that commission as well. And don't
Absolutely.
let anyone charge you to buy their product. No, you
Mhm.
want it for free, and make sure you get that commission if you can't really give someone a price yet.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So, and then also make sure the items that you are getting are affordable. So don't try to get an expensive phone or an expensive camera or expensive lighting. No, do what you can to make your content high quality. And
Okay.
that's what I did. I didn't have a camera starting out. I didn't have these fancy lights starting out.
Mhm.
I actually always used my phone. And
Mhm.
when I first started, I had an Android. So, I was Android all the way when I first started.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have to learn how to use what you have
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
really make it work for you.
Right.
So I only got into iPhone because they had a little bit more of variety with professional apps. So
Got it.
I
Got
also
it.
use their editing apps for my content, and I make
Okay.
that a little bit more professional.
Okay.
And most of the ads I get are either free or I paid like $1.99 for them.
Really?
Yep. Like I don't use extremely fancy stuff like what's that one app that everyone uses? Um
Is it
Photoshop.
photo? So okay.
Yeah.
So you are a fan of Photoshop. Another
Right,
one
right.
that I hear people use a lot is like Cut Something or whatever.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, CapCut.
CapCut. Ah, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. So y'all, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share a little bit of information with you all because again, she don't have to tell you any of this at all. She doesn't have to tell you it could just be tips. So I'm just going to put here tips. So your tips, you say, don't break the bank.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely don't. That's my number one.
Yeah. So we definitely want to let people know, don't break the bank. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. Then the other thing that you said that was very, very important was you said that start out small.
Mm-hmm.
Get started really slow and ask for ambassador or free product first with the commission.
Right.
Okay, ask for ambassador free products with commission.
Right.
Don't buy it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're
at that
also,
point, you're just the customer.
yes, I love that. I love that. Thank you for saying that again. So I'm going to put that back up on the screen. So start out small and ask for ambassador free products with commission. Do not buy it because otherwise, like you said, you're the customer. And ultimately, I think that's what a lot of these companies are doing is they're sending out these DMs in mass quantities. And people are so excited to be called an ambassador that they do go out and buy the Fabletics. I remember when Fabletics first came out, and I've been on Instagram since Instagram was literally just photos. I was one of their very first customers. I was one of Facebook's very first customers. That's scary. I wouldn't tell anybody that. And I remember Fabletics when they first came out, I got this message from them. Hey, we would love for you to be one of our ambassadors. True story. This really happened. We would love for you to be one of our ambassadors. What this is going to do. And they sent me to this link and it had all of these rules, like what you could do, what you couldn't do, XYZ. And by the way, you're going to have to buy the product from us, but we're going to give it to you at a discounted rate.
Right.
Scary. So you're saying
they were still doing that.
And that's and I knew right away. I was like, no, I'm not giving you no money. You want to use my little platform? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Right, so, exactly.
Yep. So don't break.
And that's exactly why I say, that's exactly why I say do not do that, because you're asking for my platforms. Right. You're asking for my audience to see your stuff. Mm-hmm. So why should I pay you? That doesn't make sense.
Right. Exactly.
You should be paying me.
Right, because you're the one with the huge audience and you're trying to reach that 16,000 that you're sitting on right now.
Right.
Okay. Now, something else that you said that I definitely want to give to the people is you said use what you have on hand. Your camera phone, if you don't have a phone. Ring light. I know you mentioned that previously in a conversation that we had. If you don't have a ring light, use sunlight.
Definitely.
You definitely said that. And editing apps. Let's see. Keep it really. What is it? CapCut?
Yes, CapCut.
Photoshop. There you go. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. One of the other things that I've done is I literally use the Movie Maker on the iPhone sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That one's a good one. I use Facetune a lot. I use this app which is called Polar. That's my favorite app. And I literally cannot go without it.
Really?
Yes, it helps with my lighting. It helps brighten up my skin if I need it to be a little brighter, or bring out some highlights in my makeup or something like that. Yeah, those are definitely the best apps that I've been using.
Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the top right there. Let's see. Let's hide that. So Facetune and Polar. You cannot live without Polar. Y'all heard her. I would be writing this down. If I were you, I would not sleep, because again, we're talking about somebody that's been influencing for how long?
It's been 3 or 4 years.
So here's the other question then, Takia. Would you say that this is a full-time job for you right now? This is what you do?
Definitely.
Wow.
I actually used to work at Target, and that was back in, let me think. I think that was back in 2019. Yeah, really? Because when I was, the funny thing is when I was working at Target, I knew that I wasn't going to be staying there that long. But I also knew that I wanted to be a full-time influencer and a model. But I needed a consistent income at that time
Right.
because I got bills.
Amen.
I
That
can't
part.
go. I
Yeah.
can't go without money. I got bills.
Right.
So I was working at Target, and during the times when I was working at Target, I was constantly having my alarm go off. And
Right.
the funny thing about it is I was preparing myself to post my content at a certain time. It
Uh-huh.
was 12 o'clock almost every day.
Right.
And when my alarm would go off, my manager, the team leads, all of them would automatically knew. They're like, oh, Takia has to post. Her alarm went off.
So you were
So,
doing it while you were at work, not on the floor,
yes.
no doubt, right? But just kind of like you had a schedule.
No, I did it on the floor. I did
Oh,
it on the floor, and they knew I was doing it too. I
okay.
was glad
Okay.
that they were very supportive of it because
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
I would hurry up and do it pretty quickly so no customers were coming by or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
usually I was folding clothes at the time.
So
So they were
you
like,
would be,
okay, since you're doing that and you're not all out in the open about it,
uh-huh.
you can hurry up and do it and do what you got to do and then get off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So here's the question. Because you said something about posting and you had yourself on a schedule. In order for you to get to the number that you are currently at, and for those people, those folks who are watching this right now, wanting to know how long did it take you to get there, and then also how many times per day would you suggest to anyone trying to get to influencer status, which changes. I think it fluctuates, right? Like some people
it
say,
does.
oh, you need to have 500 followers, you need to have 1,000.
Right.
Again, in your case, you're almost up to 20. I give you 20K in a month, probably less, depending on what
That'd
you
be great.
post. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how many times per day would you suggest to someone they do that post?
Right. So, like when I first started, I was posting every day. I definitely suggest don't do that because it will burn you out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you don't want. You don't want this to feel like it's an actual job. Because if
Mm,
it feels like it's an actual job, now you're coming to it and you're feeling like, well, I'm forced to do it and I don't
mm,
feel like doing it. You start to get lazy.
yeah.
And that's how I started out in a way
Mm-hmm.
where I was so gung ho about it that I was constantly posting every day, trying
Mm-hmm.
to build that following.
Yeah.
But now my schedule is every 3 to 4 days. So I post every other day instead of posting all week long. And I
Got
take
it.
weekends off. So Saturday and
Oh,
Sundays,
really?
I'm not posting at
Got it.
all. Now,
Ah,
yeah, yep.
okay.
So I take my weekends
Yeah.
off and I spend that
Okay.
time, with my family. If when I was living with them, I would spend my time with my family. But
Okay.
now I'm spending my time with my husband and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't. The main thing is don't let social media take over your entire life because it shouldn't be doing that. You want to have a balance of social media and your outside life and be able
Mhm,
to do
mhm,
things with your families and all that stuff. So
mhm.
every other day was really good. And you don't want to oversaturate your followers because if
Okay.
they see you post a lot, sometimes some people will get sick of it.
Right, they
Some
will.
people, yeah, some people will put you on mute or they'll unfollow you or you're just not getting as much engagement on your post when you post every day.
Right, and
So,
that part is
yeah,
true. So, so then what I'm hearing you say is pause. You don't need to do this every day. They're
definitely
not
not.
going to forget you if you are not here every other day, because as long as you are hitting the algorithm and you're going through the
Hmm.
system, new folks are going to find you anyway. And here's something else.
Exactly.
Expand on this. Engaging content, because sometimes, and I am guilty of this, I am super guilty of this. Listen, there would be times that um I would literally go, maybe I should just post a picture. There would be no
Right.
thought to it. This is the truth. There would be no thought to it because I just thought that as long as I was posting something, that they would still be engaged. Can you
Right.
expand on that? what plans do you put in place to do what
Right.
you need to do?
So there is times where, especially if I run out of content, which is
Mhm,
rare,
mhm,
I
mhm.
would, I might take a selfie and I'll just throw it on there. Now,
Okay.
because you can do that. I consider my platform as my platform. So it's whatever I bring to the table, they will see. You will
Mhm.
see my authenticity, you'll see my professional side. So it's just all what you make it out to be.
Okay.
Now, I do suggest when you are posting like a regular selfie, make sure you're putting a engaging caption so that people can engage underneath your selfie. It may not be your professional side, but it's still something that is on there and it's still something that your followers are seeing.
Mhm.
So make sure you put a caption that's engaging and that will have your followers come and comment or like or share. And
Okay.
that's definitely what I do with my content.
Okay. And I definitely see that. Um, what I wanted to make sure that we did was that I want people to understand that you're just not throwing up content.
Right, right.
Okay. And that is evident that you're just not throwing up content.
Right.
Okay. Because you have outfits and pretty colors, and you stand in a specific area of your home or your studio or whatever that is, but whatever it
Right.
is, it looks good.
Right.
Okay.
Thank
I don't
you.
see dirt on the walls. You know how sometimes you see people with the dirt on the walls
Right,
and,
right.
and they have potato chip bags all on the floor. Like
Right,
you literally put effort into what you're doing, right?
right.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah,
that's
because
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So so I can also consider my platform not only, it's giving my personality, but
Mhm.
it's also giving that just in case someone is actually seeing me, I have that content on there. I have that professional content as far
Mm,
as either influencer campaigns or modeling gigs.
mhm,
So I made my Instagram to really be my whole modeling portfolio.
mhm, mhm.
And that's how I think of it. So if people seeing me, okay, well, now you can see my images. You can see I can actually work professionally, but you
Yeah.
can also see that I have my play side.
Yes. I love that.
Hmm.
Okay. And so we see both sides of you, and that is what I really love. So
Right.
you're an influencer, but there's so much more to you. There is.
Right.
And so let's talk about that, because one of the things that you've been doing is you've been modeling,
Definitely.
and you have an affinity to encourage body positivity. So I've seen your posts, and boy, do you do that. Now, you call yourself a curvy model.
Hmm.
Uh, Back in the day, they called us plus size because we had a little
Right.
extra up top, right?
Right.
And so we even had a conversation about that, and being, a little full on top, especially as Black women,
Right.
because we already know everybody wants a round bum bum. Everybody
Yeah.
wants
Yeah.
to be round on the backside. God didn't give it to me. He chose to pass it on to other folks, and
Right.
that's okay. So, how do you, through your social media platforms, encourage the body positivity outside of the fact that, honey, you are giving in all of your photos, right?
Thank
So
you.
let's talk about that.
So I really, when I put my body positivity post out there, I try to tell people to make sure you love yourself and make sure that like you have a healthy mental state because really that's what you need when you're on your social media platforms.
Mhm.
So I feel as though you really need to know yourself,
Yeah.
and love yourself in every aspect of
Yeah.
where your body and mind
Mm,
is.
yeah.
Because there's times where, you're not going to always be strong, and that's okay. It's okay to
Yeah.
not always be strong.
Mhm.
And then there's times where you might not love who you are at that moment, and that's okay too.
Mhm.
But you have to also make sure that you don't stay in that. Don't
Mhm.
stay in that mindset.
Right.
Make sure you come back and you realize, you're that girl or that you're that boy. Like you're
Part. Yeah.
killing it. You're doing
Yeah.
really good.
Mhm.
And you really have to start putting that within yourself. And
Mhm.
also, I suggest doing daily motivation. I
Mhm.
always do that. Like I have my words written down, everything like that. I have different notebooks that have
Mhm.
words written in it.
Okay. Okay.
So I really also do that as well so that I know, I know myself, I'm confident within myself, and nobody can tear that apart.
I love it.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Okay.
That is
So
always the goal of that.
always the goal. Now, let's talk about where you been.
Yeah.
You in some girl, you in some magazines that are coming up. Let's talk about
Yes.
that. What's going
Ye-
on?
I am so excited. Actually, one of the magazine was posted yesterday, so I'm very excited. But I won't get my
Okay.
pictures until next week.
Wow.
So I won't get them till next week, and I'll be able to post them next week.
Okay.
But I've been in two magazines in France so far, which I am excited. These are my first international magazines. So
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
Yes.
I
I
have
love
other
it.
magazines, but this one was international and I was excited. And I said, this is the country that I actually want to visit one day because I want to go to Milan. That's
Love
my
it.
main place to go to because I want to be in their fashion show. So that would
Okay.
be awesome.
Okay.
But yes, I'm very excited about these magazines.
Mhm.
I actually got posted in Vogue, and I believe Vogue, which I'm trying to think of which one. I think it's Vogue. No, LA. It's in LUK. It's the LUK.
LUK.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
It's the L
congratulations.
magazine. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love it. So y'all, she's Takia Denise is going to be an L. Let me write this down because listen, y'all, quiet as it's kept.
Right.
If you go ahead and you get this month's magazine, the March issue, she is in Brownstone Living magazine as well.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
sleep.
I can't wait.
She coming for the black and brown folks too, y'all. So y'all, she's
Definitely.
in
Definitely.
L UK. And what was the other one?
The other one is actually Jumaro.
Jumaro. I
Yeah,
hope.
that's one of the France magazines.
Okay. Okay. And so we're gonna definitely promote that and let people know where they can find you. So you moving on up like the Jeffersons
Yes.
moving on.
Right, right.
Yeah. So this is awesome. So here's the other question that I have for you as we begin to wrap. Um, number one, we know where to find you. But number two, the other thing is that let's talk about where I met you. Because I
Right.
definitely want to discuss the ways that you are consistently showing up for yourself. And I'm impressed, right?
Right.
Because it's
Thank
clear
you.
that you have a plan. And one of the things that a lot of people do when they consider being an influencer is they really do believe the visual hype of
Right.
just putting the clothes on, going out. Here's what I had for lunch. Da 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 da. This is that cost. First of all, that costs money.
Right,
That
exactly.
kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? But then the other thing is you clearly have a plan, and we talked about that on one of your shows on an app called Bigo.
Mhm.
So you've been on that application how long, and what caused you to even consider going over there?
Right. So I've actually been on Bigo for 4 months starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I got on the app because I really wanted to be a little bit more confident when it comes to live streaming.
Got it.
And so one of my friends actually had brought me off of Facebook to go onto Bigo. She just kept talking about it. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to try out Bigo. You can make this amount of money per month. You can, make new friends, make connections." And I was like, "Okay, I can get on here and, try it out, see if I like it and see how it goes." And
Yeah,
ever since, I've been comfortable in front of the camera.
I love
I've been
it.
comfortable doing many other things that I
Yeah,
wasn't comfortable with doing.
right.
So that app definitely helped me a lot to get used to live streaming and talking face to face to people over,
Yeah.
the internet pretty much.
Okay. Okay. I love it. And so that's how you and I met. I actually slipped and fell in one of your lives. and
Right,
you
right.
were doing a multi-guest, and I joined, and I listened for a little while, and I said, "Oh, she already know what she doing."
Right.
Right? A lot of times when you go onto these platforms and you're watching, I don't care again if it's TikTok or whatever, everybody has to have some kind of plan, or really what you're doing is wasting your time. And I always
Right.
say that to people. So you've been on Bigo, and we're not going to get into all of the things that is Bigo because that's not what we're here for. But I would say that that's a part of your plan to take over the world, is it not?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And so, how often do you go live? How often would you suggest to anyone who wants to be an influencer to, one, go live? We've talked about posting how many times per week or whatever, giving yourself days off so it doesn't feel like the drudgery of a regular full-time job. How often
Right.
do you go live?
So, depending on the app, usually I try to go on for a couple hours. So, I would usually do,
No, no, no.
you know,
What?
for a couple hours. So, like maybe an hour or two, maybe three, unless you're on Vigo. If you're on Vigo, I'm definitely on there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's times where I've been on for like 7 hours straight, which is crazy. Yeah, it's like a whole job being on Bigo
Uh-huh.
because like when I first started, I was definitely Bigo happy and still
Hmm.
am. So
Hmm.
I'm constantly on there, talking to people, getting connections
Yeah.
and really building really, good friendships on there.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
And that's exactly what I did with my friend off of Facebook. I didn't really know her like that. We
Yeah.
were talking on Facebook, but
Hmm.
we were in a whole group chat and a whole Facebook group together. And
Hmm.
so we had no choice but to get to know each other eventually.
Yeah.
But I really got to know her and she became one of my best friends off
I
of Bigo. She's
I
like my sister now.
Oh, that is
So
amazing.
yes,
And that's what
definitely.
I like about the live feature. And
Right.
so, are you considered an influencer on Bigo, or is it just about building your audience to get them over to your other platforms?
So I'm definitely considered an influencer on Vigo. The agency that I'm in currently, he brags about me all the time. So he's
Uh-huh.
been talking to a person who actually owns the app of Vigo.
Ah,
And he tells them about what I do, and they're
yeah.
actually promoting me around the app. It's crazy.
Excellent.
It's crazy.
Okay.
But
So
I
it's
am
just doing.
excited. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay. I
And
love
pretty
it.
quickly too. I'm like, it's only
Wow.
been
Because
3 months.
right. So 3 months you've been on the app, and so you have to excuse me because see, I come from the old school. When I was your age, honey, it was go get a job. Graduate from
Right,
college,
right.
go get a job. So you have
Right, exactly.
created your own way to generate revenue. And really,
Mhm.
you do work it like a job because when I met you, you had been on, I sat in your chat, I know 3 hours.
Right, right.
And I was just,
Exactly.
yeah. And so I sat on the panel, I talked for a little while. I had been listening and watching you guys for a little bit. And then one of the people that I initially met on there, shout out to Doc Black, was
Definitely.
on your panel.
Yes.
And I was
Which
like,
was
okay,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Because that was my first time even talking to him that day as well. Because that day, I don't know what happened, but I
Yeah.
had just started my live
Mhm.
and my friend, she was on her own panel at the time. And I
Mhm.
was like, I really need to get my hours in. I can't
Mhm.
really, be too late with my hours. So I got on, I did my hours, and during the start is where another person had came in
Mhm.
and he started talking about business and how to be yourself while having your own business, how to
Yeah.
promote yourself and all of
Mhm.
that. And so we started talking from there. And then that's when Doc Black came in and he was
Right.
like, I had to talk on this topic. And that's when we started getting connected and
Yeah.
talking more. And then, Juicy came in, you came in. I
Right.
was like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, this is a whole different panel
Uh,
today. I
yeah.
was loving it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is something knew this is something that I wanted on my panel.
Mhm.
So I was very grateful for that day to happen.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
And
I'm
then this
like,
happened.
right.
Yeah. And
Like
so here we are.
this is my very first podcast. I said I am happy
Wonderful.
to be on here.
I am so excited for you. And again, you guys, as we wrap, I'm really, really excited and honored because you are my first influencer, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we interview, and this is huge, right? Because as an influencer, you are a business owner,
Right.
period. And I think people get being an influencer wrong, especially in my age range, right? So people think that you guys are out here and you're showing your belly button and you're doing all the, and I would
Right.
page and you fully clothed. You got
Yep.
clothes on, right? That's
Yep.
one. And the other thing is you're promoting products, you're making money, you are making business decisions on what your worth is.
Right.
And we cannot in 2023 overlook that when we're talking about Black and brown women. Okay.
Definitely.
Because most of the time we are overlooked, undercompensated, or underpaid, and we are not looked at as being very smart. But according
Right.
to what Brownstone Worldwide tells you, and according to what Takia Denise is telling you.com, we're bright, we're professional, we are decision
Yep.
makers, we're the CEO, we're taking care of home, we're planning, we're developing, and we're moving on to other ways of generating additional revenues for
Right.
ourselves.
Yep. Definitely.
I love it. I love it. And this is where I think we should wrap. Y'all, the last thing that I want to ask you is, do you have any parting words for those who are interested in being influencers today for our audience?
Definitely. So my words are be yourself, be real, be authentic, and put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be yourself, and don't be afraid of what others might say about you, because someone is always going to say something. Someone is not always going to like you, but it's okay. It's not for them to like
Yeah.
you. But those who do,
Mm-hmm.
cherish them
Mm-hmm.
and create your content towards those who do.
I love it. Y'all, this is Takia Denise. You can go and find her at takiadenise.com. She is going to be in the People in the Neighborhood, a part of Brownstone Living Magazine for the March edition, which comes out, or is already out actually, March 4th, March 5th. And so if you want a copy of that, head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com. You can go ahead and get your copy there. And that is about all for now. Once again, Takia, I am so appreciative and thankful that you made the decision to hang out with me today, even through all of the hiccups, the technical hiccups we
Right.
had. Right?
Thank you for having me.
It has been a pleasure. I am now a new follower and a fan, and I hope to see you in these internet streets. You guys,
most definitely.
listen, it's been real. I hope that you learned a lot from Takia Denise today. It's been an amazing learning experience for those of you all who want to look at making money as an influencer and making this a full-time opportunity for yourself. Go ahead and follow Takia Denise, learn what she's up to, and we will see you once again as a part of Brownstone Worldwide. 3 things that we always like to tell you to do. 1, love your life. It's the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest, because guess what? You only get one you. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. We'll see you on the next edition of the Lunch and Learn Hour here on KCCR Radio, the Brownstone, and brownstoneworldwide.com.